Hello guys, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. I decided to share something this morning that I think a lot of you guys gonna love. It is Jim Cramer taking answers, and hopefully it will be one of those questions you have where somebody asks it, and that was taken from the monthly meeting that just went. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Jim Cramer and Jeff Marks and have the take some questions and get some answers as they run down some of the questions people ask about the different type of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. I hope you're finding value in the channel, and if you are doing, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. But let's go and hear what Jim Cramer has to say as he talk about his favorite part of the club, which is taking your question and answering your questions. Let's go to the club.
Favorite part of the monthly meeting, and that's hearing directly from you. You start.
Yeah, I'll take the first one. So let's kick it off with Carrie in Louisiana, who asks, I have been an Eli Lilly shareholder for years, and I've taken profits several times. Currently, it is the largest position in my portfolio. Am I being a hog if I don't trim more? Well, we've certainly taken profits along the way, and it's been a great run this year, especially in a down market, up about 16% over the last 3 months, up nicely year to date. What I would say is, look, I can't speak to your specific portfolio, but bulls do make money, bears make money, hogs get slaughtered. We haven't trimmed around here because we still like the company very much. They offered their 2023 guidance just this week. Revenue's very strong, and even though earnings were light, the market didn't really care too much
because the weight loss drug is so gigantic, and people aren't even talking about the Alzheimer's drug because the company will let you; they'll give you nothing. But the numbers for weight loss are extraordinary. 15% loss for the pill, 20 to 24% for the shot in a very short period of time. I will say on the record, biggest drug of all time. That's what I think, which is why it's so hard to sell Eli Lilly and why it's easier to buy on days like today. All right, next up, we have Gary in my old home state of Pennsylvania. Well, I got a new place there near Quakertown. Can you believe it? Jeff and I are from the same part of town. TJX Companies is around an all-time high due to all the inventory available from other businesses and people flocking into the store to shop for the home and holidays. How should we approach the stock up here to make sure we don't let these gains go away? Okay, I'm going to answer this one simply. It's not up here. It's nowhere near where it can go. TJ hasn't even had Christmas yet. Now, I'm a member of Ollie's Army. They send me these. They should get rid of that ridiculous mascot. But I got another Ollie's Army today, and it's all the stuff. They have all the second-rate stuff. TJ's got the first-rate stuff. By the way, I'll tell you something. I mean, I'm worried about stealing in retail. So this guy comes up to me, and he's wearing a Nets T-shirt, which instantly distinguishes him as someone I don't necessarily want to pal around with. And he's eating Frito-Lays, and it's like all over. When you eat like that, you got to dust it off. And he comes up to me, and he says, what do you think of Ford? He's a member of the club. He's an undercover cop. That's how you stop stealing. TJX knows how to stop stealing, but you think they're going to mention it? No, they're not going to tell you because it's their edge. That's how good they are. TJX, it goes higher.
All right, now we have Bill who asks, can you please speak a little bit about Estee Lauder and the purchase rationale? It seems that conviction outweighed discipline, yet it was a very good buy. I looked and it still looks expensive. Was the catalyst of China opening up? And when we started buying it in late September, we started to see some easing in travel restrictions, and we felt that China's zero COVID policy was untenable, and it was only a matter of time before they did loosen up. And of course, travel is such a big part of Estee Lauder's business, especially at duty-free stores, and China is about 1/3 of the market. So it certainly played a factor. And I would say, yes, the stock is expensive, but it's always expensive.
Would you buy right here?
And keep in mind,
buy right here?
Yeah, on a 4%
down 10, if you just joined the club?
Yeah, I would buy some.
Buy some right here? And also, you want to buy 100 shares, buy 25?
Yeah, of course, do it in scale. And by the way, the stock's expensive, but keep in mind that when we started buying it, its multiple derated all the way back to pre-COVID levels, even though it was a better company today than it was back then. And the earnings are artificially lower because it doesn't have China, which means the multiples artificially inflated.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, today's a bad day. Okay, so Maybe pick up some here, maybe some here. I don't think it's going to revisit that level. Sales are too strong. Don't buy it all at once. All right, now we're taking a question from Susan, who asks, shares of Coterra keep declining amid falling energy prices and analyst downgrades. Do you see that changing anytime soon? Okay, here's what you do. I'm calling Coterra today. I have getting a call set up. I'm worried about it because it's going down more than the others. It's Nat Gas, though. Nat Gas is higher. It's got a very big payout. Cabot, some people feel isn't as good as they thought. Everyone except Cimarex, remember those two merged, is doing terrifically. But I redouble effort. When I see a stock go down more than other stocks, I redouble effort. I don't just sit there and say, well, it's okay. No, you have every right to ask, and I have every, and I regard that as a demand. And it's a demand on me, and I'm going to find out more about Coterra. I do know that these are two of the finest companies. That's not enough. I'll give you a fresh look soon.
All right. Next is Marcus in Maryland, who asks, I own 100 shares of Johnson & Johnson, and I'm aware that it will be splitting into two companies, one pharma, medtech, and the other consumer products. When the separation occurs, will I then own two different companies? The answer is yes. You will own those two companies. The full details of the separation aren't known yet, but if it's a spinoff, what will happen is you'll still own 100 shares of the parent company, that's call it the pharma medtech business, and then you'll also own shares of Kenvue, which is the consumer product company, at some type of rate. So if it's a 2-for-1 stock split, it will be at terms. But big picture, the market value of your position will be little changed overnight.
Yeah,
it will still be made whole.
Look, I think if you can get some at 176 flat today, I think that'd be a good price. Stock is coming down, but it's in the S&P. All right. Next up, Vincent in my home state of New Jersey asks, what is going on in the semis, and do you think Advanced Micro Devices is worth owning? Do you know that Advanced Micro Devices was made #1 pick today?
Yeah, Morgan Stanley.
By Morgan Stanley.
Yep.
Now, they have an inventory problem. When I say an inventory problem, they have too many. Look, you see this thing? They got the chips in this, all right? There's not enough of these things being bought and too many of them being made. And that's how you have an inventory problem. They have an inventory problem throughout their whole system. It won't clear up, I think, until the end of the first quarter. So we're going to take our lumps here. We've sold a lot. The Xilinx deal that they did does not seem to help them as much as it should, or they're not talking about it much. Jeff, I don't know, or Chef Jeff, where would you think? 62? Buy the stock back to be sold much higher?
Yeah, around 62, sure.
Like
time also matters too, because we need to see that inventory work down.
Right. No hurry.
Mentioned.
No hurry because of the darn inventory. Why keep it at all? Well, we sold a lot.
Small position, 1%.
Right. Still believe in Lisa Sue.
There will be a time for these again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And when there is, you will certainly know it.
All right. Now we have a question from Daniel, who asks, why do you think shares of Constellation Brands have been rage-bound lately? This is a good question. It looked like it was about to break out. Then it's pulled back since. I think part of that could be because the Sands family has been selling some stock. The other part, there was some
Sands family transitioning out of the company.
Right. And also, there's been some disappointing earnings from some peers. I would say some earnings reports from some other alcohol companies, but that hasn't shown up in Constellation's results yet. In fact, the momentum in their core beer portfolio, Modelo and Corona, Pacifico, that's all continuing, and we continue to like the corporate governance measures the company's been taking, whether it's the share reclassification that Jim just alluded to, also what they've done with Canopy to protect their equity, their earnings from Canopy's losses. So we still like.
Right. Look, this is a cash flow story. They have bountiful cash flow. Again, because this is a real live presentation. It's not some letter you get in the mail about a month after the year. I would tell you that 230, probably where I'd go get some if you just joined the club. Again, not aggressive. This is a hideous market, but I like that price. Okay. Let's go to John. John, always tell us where you're from. John from Defuniak Springs in Florida. I once covered a story there on Tallahassee Democrat. Anyway, Jim, I am looking to start a position in Humana to increase my exposure to healthcare. In your opinion, what would be a good price to buy? Okay, now Humana's just had a gigantic run. So I'm very reluctant to tell you to just buy it right here. That's a short-term chart. Stan yesterday, it was recommended yesterday and went down, which was a sign that it's overbought. So let's let it come down a little. One of the reasons why I like to even real life stuff, I have Noreen Shevlin does my, she's CEO of me. And well, Lisa's my daytime CEO. And I have to do, figure out what to do with it. But, you know, I gotta have to, I'm like one of these people that has a Medicare. Hey, Medicare sucks, by the way, just for the record. I mean, like, versus like when you have a really good healthcare plan, it's like you don't really get a lot of stuff, which is why I got to buy this medical. That's why I got to buy these Advantage things. You know, you ever see like Joe Namath? That was Humana. Humana changed their whole thing around. And look, Medicare doesn't suck versus, you know, not having anything. But I'm saying that I have a much worse plan with Medicare than I used to have. So I get the Advantage, and the Advantage this year went to Humana. It's just better and cheaper. I obviously was not the only one who found out about that. This is the kind of stock. Remember at the beginning, I said, we need inflation, we welcome it, all that stuff. This is just the classic. So I don't know, Jeff, let it come in, right? I mean, it's an overbought stock.
Yeah, it's certainly getting interesting, though, under 500. They really have turned around their Medicare Advantage plan. They raised their numbers about a month ago. Better. For Medicare Advantage growth, they're back above the industry growth rate. Right. They've done a great job. Yeah. And yeah, now it's just kind of letting it come in. Yeah. Patience.
I just want to just quick anecdote. When you're on Medicare, here's how all conversations start. Hi, we don't take Medicare. How can I help you? That's why you need medical advantage.
All right. Now we have a question from Betty, who asked, for those looking for dividend income in a 5-year horizon, what 5 club stocks would you recommend? I got some ideas. I know, Jim, you have some ideas too.
Yep.
I think J&J is always a consistent one, though we don't know what their full dividend policy will be after the split, but you know there'll be a dividend. Emerson Electric, we talked about earlier as a dividend aristocrat, 66 years of dividend increase. They'll make it 67 in 23, 2%, 2.1% dividend yield. What do you think, Jim? Some oil plays?
I think that Pioneer, because Scott Sheffield is committed to being the highest yielding stock in the S&P, and he's got more optionality than Devin. And you know, I'm doing the work on Coterra, which has a really good dividend policy that everybody hates right now.
Yep.
Hey, let's not forget Wells, Charlie Scharf. He wants that dividend to be up. He wants it to be up big. I think that matters tremendously. But those are the ones that I feel most strongly about.
Maybe another one, Procter, just another steady.
Procter's just going to raise dividend every year.
Morgan Stanley, good div too.
Hey, how about Procter? Procter goes to like 135. Right at 135, that's when they tell you, look, all the roll costs are going down, the dollar's peaking. In other words, it's going for good for, and all the analysts downgrade it because they are unbelievably bad who cover Procter. Procter's just had a very big run. I think you can probably trade to 147, 46 for new people. Don't nearly have to buy it right now at this point. Those are the good ones. Yep. Oh, my God. Don't tell me. This is the last question. It's 12:54. Maybe we should just babble on like people do. Do a little babbling, you know? Hey, so what do you think about San Francisco tonight? I don't know. How'd you do in your fantasy league? Never mind.
Not good for me this year.
I know. Some of us have brought it up. All right, next we have Marty, who asks, all I hear is that tech is too expensive. I understand about the companies with no earnings, but when I look at the price of earnings multiples of Microsoft, Apple, and Google, and see their PEs that they are lower indeed than club names like Estee Lauder, Honeywell, Danaher, I'm confused and would like to know more about tech multiples. Okay, look, this is a really great question. The answer is a little difficult. Tech has multiples that can, based on earnings, that have dramatic swings. So, I mean, there are estimates for Apple that are so high and so low that it's actually difficult to arrive at a price to earnings multiple. Microsoft is a little more in that group of like Honeywell and Estee Lauder. Alphabet sells at 19 times earnings. No one believes. People think they're going to blow it. Ruth Porat, a friend of mine, is the CFO. We marvel at that the PE is so low, given the fact that they're so consistent. But people don't believe it. People think that Alphabet's going to have a very bad number. Now, Danaher, one of the most consistent companies on earth, doing a spinoff. After every spinoff, it's gone up dramatically. Honeywell, Darius Adamczyk has created a pastiche of companies that he thinks are going to have consistent growth, and they do. And Estee Lauder is run by the fabulous Fabrizio Freda, who has had good numbers in times of bad and in times of good. And by the way, you know, sure, he got hurt because of lockdown, because the Chinese are the biggest market. He goes to China once or twice a month. When he goes there, he tries to have a meeting with women between the age, say, of 22 and 25, and hear all what they want. He also does reverse mentoring program, where each month your assistant is your boss. Maybe you have to go get them that blue bottle of coffee at $8.95. Probably went up to $9.25 during this call. Mm-hmm. Anyway, New Year coming. Very excited. I talk with Margaret DeLuna, who's the brains behind operation all the time, about all the new stuff that we got coming. It's going to be meetings. It's going to be things about like being on the floor of the stock exchange. It's going to be swag. It's going to be spending more time with Jeff. That's
anyway, guys. So thank you, guys. Just wanted to share this with you. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you got a lot of information. Still strong on companies like Starbucks. Still think STZ and still think PXD, which is Pioneer Natural Resources. I still think these are some great stock. I hope you're getting a lot of information. I hope you're understanding a lot more about the stock market, and I hope you're ready to build wealth. As I said, let's build wealth together, one investment at a time, guys. So thank you for watching the video. If you're finding value, please comment, please like, please subscribe, and please consider joining the CNBC Investment Club. I am a member. It's a great club. I think they run I think somewhere like $400 a year. If you're doing yearly, it might be like $60 a year. Somewhere, I'm not sure the prices, or you could just join my Patreon for $5. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching the video. Please don't forget to comment and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Every morning around 12 p.m. I do talk about the morning meeting that they have. So if you're joining me for the first time and the first time you're seeing my channel, please subscribe so you could get notification and hit the bell icon when we do videos, because we do videos every day. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe.